Hi guys and girls, welcome back. I think we're at like episode 4 now of this series on the Supercharger. Getting a lot closer to bolting this thing down. Hopefully in this video we can get the crank pin, get the Supercharger bolted down, and be getting really close to starting this thing. I did go ahead and order a steam vent kit. This is just an eBay generic steam vent kit. It was like $15. It's got the 2 machined aluminum pieces, the line, and the part here that connects to your hose. This is going to move it. It's going to give it a little more room, and it's going to move it to the other side, away from the throttle body, so I can pull the steam off that side and put it back to the radiator. So let's start by getting this old one off here and getting this thing suited up and ready to go on there. All right, I did go ahead and get this bolted on here, the steam vent. I did have to bend this up just a little bit. I went ahead and put the supercharger here and make sure everything cleared. It is good to go. Put this side on first and made it a whole lot easier. I started with that one and then kind of getting it, and so just start this side. I was going to pin the crank next, but I thought I had everything, the right bolt and nut and everything, but I don't. So I'm going to have to run to town to get one more nut for that. But in the meantime, let's go ahead and get this injectors put in the supercharger, and let's get it bolted down. I'd really like to have it bolted down today, so let's go over to that. As you can see, everything's a mess. We got a mess over here. So first thing I'm going to do is I'm going to take my injectors out of here, and I'm going to grease them up a little bit. I've got this Bell Ray waterproof grease. I kind of use that for a little bit of everything. So let's go ahead, pop these tops off. We're not going to put a whole lot, just a little bit around each one. These are Fuel Injector Clinic 1200 Ds. Alright, there's one in a spot. 7 more to go. Got all 8 of those in there. Let's take our rail here. Make sure it's all lined up down through there. And just push them right down into place. On both sides. Easy peasy lemon squeezy. Let me grab a couple M6 bolts here and we'll bolt this sucker down. Alright, this is what I come up with. Little Allen head M6 little washer on it. I had these left over from another project, so they'll work pretty good here. Now, one thing I did buy the locks to go ahead and put on there. I see a lot of people say you don't really need them because it ain't going to come apart on this. But let's see if we can go ahead and slip them in there. Just to have them on there. This may have been something we should have done to start with. Well, it looks like we're going to bypass that. Like I said, most people say you don't need it anyway because you got it bolted down. They can't, the injector can't go anywhere. On this side of things, we're going to go ahead and pull these rags out of here and get some grease right around here. That way when we put that gasket on, it's got a little movement to it so it don't bind up and twist off. So. There we have it. A nice thin coat of grease around everything. I mean, it don't look real clean, but I have wiped this off and stuff. I don't want to take sandpaper to it and get that sand and dust down in my cylinders. I'd rather just leave it like it is, put a little grease on it. So let's go back to the supercharger and get the gasket ready to install on it. Okay, what's interesting about these gaskets is they actually have to be pop riveted onto here. You'll see there's a little indentation here. And that's so the pop rivet can be below flush once we pop the top of it off. So let's get it set up here. Oh, this isn't going to be for this side, it looks like. Oh, maybe. There we go. Stick a little something. Under it there. And I've already got the right tip set on here. You should have the smallest tip that allows this to go into. Pop rivets aren't cooperating very well. Of course, this is just a cheap Harbor Freight gun here. car. It's like I am going to do one other thing on this other side. There's a spot where I barely got into there. I tried to tape that up so I wouldn't hit that when I cut that. So I think it'll seal just fine. But I want to put a little bit of this RTV on it just in case. Just a smidge it. I'd rather put that little extra insurance there than not. See if we can just push it on through. Man, it made things worse. There it is. So now we have got it set up there. Gasket's on there. We got it greased. Got a little RTV on it. Let's go lay this thing on the car. Be careful when you're handling this thing. It is a bit heavy. See that grease is allowing me to have that little bit of walkage there. It's exactly what I wanted. Make sure that we have clearance. Let's get the bolts. I'm not going to take a risk of dropping that down in there. Two, three. Got two left, I think, over in the very back. Let me get a stool. There's that one. I might come on that side. Let's make sure we get some hands started here first. All right, got them all down by hand. And we're going to take a ratchet here and we're going to barely just give them a little to help seat it before we go straight to the torquing. Not a whole lot, just a little bit. We'll start in the middle, done the middle too. And we'll go back and do this one. We'll come up and do this one. Okay. This one. Right back in back here. Right front one. Right back one. And then the very front one. Alright, the reason we do that is we want this thing to be settled down there pretty level. If we went straight to 44 foot-pounds on the first pass, it could bind it up a little bit, so we'll do it in multiple stages. And the torque spec on this is 44 foot-pounds first run, inch-pounds. 44 inch-pounds and 89 inch-pounds. In that same sequence we just did. Alright, here's our run at 44. going to take it up to 89 inch-pounds. All right, it is bolted down. Let's go ahead and get this gasket laid down here. The gasket, it's a little thinner on the bottom, and it's got this place to line it up with this little notch. So there's only one way it can really go and be on there correctly. And let's go ahead, before we forget, get it laying up there so I can see it. Let's go over and get this lid ready. Alright, so we got the lid here. It's got these little black keepers in it all the way around it. That's so you can start these bolts just a little bit. And hold them right in spot. So we don't want them to, we want them all to be flush with the bottom of it underneath here. So let's go ahead and take a second and put all these in. I'm really concerned about these back ones back here. These are going to be a pain in the butt to get. See these ones right here. These last four. That's going to be the challenge of this install. But at least it has these little keepers in here to hold the bolts. You don't have to reach back here and try to start a bolt. It's already going to be pretty much where it needs to be. There's little dowel pins too that helps center this thing. And this is basically the same thing you'd go through if you're putting this on a G8 or an SS. I think the G8 you have to run the Cadillac lid. I don't think you can run a ZL1 without doing some cutting. But don't hold me to that. I'm not a G8 expert. Alright. Let's go to the car. And them bolts back at the back. Oh goodness, they just barely. Don't feel like it's sitting flush. Oh, it's because it's got the gasket on it now. I forgot. It's holding it up just a little bit because I got squished down. A big orange gasket. ratchet wrenches are saviors. All this for one bolt. It's not even a hard one yet. It's like 1 or 2 clicks at a time. It'll pop off. And I'm finally starting to get some snuggage on it. Yep. All right, got that one. Swap sides with me here. That side is probably going to be the easiest since I'm right-handed. At least I'm getting a couple more clicks per revolution over here. No, that don't work. Oh, gotta take a break. So guys, while the camera was off, I had to turn the heater on. Heater's still on. It's cold out here. I know it don't make a whole lot of noise on there, so hopefully you don't hear it too bad. I went ahead and got the other bolt. Now we still have 2 bolts in the very, very back. I can't see them, I can't touch them. We're going to have to explore other avenues to be able to get those tight. We haven't done the torque yet, we've just kind of snugged everything down. So what we're going to do is we're going to remove the windshield wipers, remove this cowling that's right here, and then we'll see what we need to maybe drill a hole, a couple holes to get to, or cut, or see. But I'll get you in here closer and let you take a look at this. Alright, the 2 bolts are going to be located straight under the cowling right here. They're straight down in the center here, a couple inches apart. If you've seen them over there a while ago when I started those bolts, you know about where they're at. And there is hardly any room here. So I mean, I can get the end of my magnet in between there, and that's about it. And it's pretty small. So I'm going to take the windshield wipers loose here. Pop these little caps off, and there should be a 13 millimeter on both sides. So pop them off. Pull this rubber off, and take these plastic clips out. And then see if maybe we can bend something here, cut something, just to be able to get that ratchet down in there so we can get them tight. So this thing's going to come on and off in the future, so need to make sure that it's capable of being an easier job. Okay, what I've decided to do, I think I can just drill a couple holes, larger holes. I'm going to go ahead and get those marked and do a first drill and see if that gets me to it. That way I can go straight down to my cowling, straight to the bolt. The other ones on the side, I can just still get with them with the wrench. I dropped down the transmission, and it belongs to the 10 millimeter gods at this point. But anyway, get this marked, get it drilled, and see how this goes. So I can take my hand and I can touch it. Barely touch the tip of it. So line my hands up here. I think that's going to be X marks the spot. Scientific measurement there. Get a persuader here. Maybe hopefully make it where to start right where I want it.
You got about an inch. Yeah, there you go.
I'm a hot dog. It's gonna be awful close. Let's get the ratchet and check it out. Let's try not to drop this one down to make a donation to the 10 millimeter. No, not big enough. Hot dang. Easy peasy. Let's see if we can do that on the other side. That one's a little bit further off, but I think I can still do it. I got one of the wobbly kind of extensions on here. Tell you what, let me put one more on. These extensions give you just a little bit of wobbly room. I got them at Hobo Freight, so you can get a little bit different angle. On there. It's trying awful hard. Come on, little fella. Come on. Just ain't cooperating. Drill another hole a little bit over and connect it to that hole. All this will be hidden once. Second round with the charm. Good deal. Alright, since we got them all snugged down, let's go ahead and get our torque wrench back out here. Set to 44 pounds, inch-pounds. We ain't gonna be able to get to the back ones back there. Them other four. We'll just have to use a wrench and guess. Since I lost my ratchet wrench. See if we can't lose this one too. Okay, now 89 inch-pounds. Alright, there we go, torque down. Alright, so we went ahead and put the cowl back on. Just take it off and put it back on. It's pretty simple. Can't even see any of the holes I drilled or anything, it's all covered up. So they're there for next time. I'm going to go ahead and start plugging a few things in here and seeing how the coil pack's going to fit. I think those have to be drilled and elongated a little bit to make them work. But we'll cross that bridge here in just a second. We're going to go ahead and start that and see how it goes. So, got my coil pack there. I'm going to go ahead and take a second and plug these injectors in, line them up. And you can spin them if you want to make them straight. So get them plugged in. Good thing about these injectors I bought, they had the correct plugs to meet with these injectors on this car. We don't have to run any kind of harness to adapt it. There's out of the box, kind of ready to go. Alright, let me think about this for a minute. I'll get right back with you. Alright, so I went ahead and removed the valve cover. And I've got it kind of lined up where I need it to be. What it's having to do is, if you can see, this bolt hole right here would have went all the way up here. So we're having to move it down about 1 inch all the way across. And there's going to be a bolt hole here now. There'll be a bolt hole here. And then this one, after those 3 holes. And then I'll probably knock a corner out here. That way I'm going to bolt, help ground it a little bit, maybe here and here. So I'm going to take a few minutes to mark this, start drilling, and I'll be right back with you. Alright, so I got her drilled out here. I ended up drilling a hole here. I've got one here, and one here. That's 4 holes. And I mean, it had 1, 2, 3, 4, 5 before. I think that's going to be more than plenty. I'm going to get this put back on the car. I went ahead and checked out my rocker arms and my springs and all that. Well, I had this off, just make sure I didn't have any broken springs or loose rocker arms or trunnions come loose or anything. Everything looks really good. Inside there's really clean. So let's get this all bolted on there, and I'll show you how I did it and what I did with the wires. Alright, so they're on there and they're good solid. Wires back up. Make sure you get them on the right ones. Now this is the harness I took off. It was in the back, behind here, and with it being moved down, there's no room for it now. So what I think I'm going to do is take it out of this plastic and just run it right next to the injector wires, because there's room there to run right down beside the head. I'll do that kind of deal. So let's do that.
Looks like it's supposed to go that way. Alright. So, let's get our two-step nodule back out here. I've got it marked here. Which side goes to what side. This, I gotta do some research on that, see what the best way it's gonna be to deal with that. Go ahead for the time being, take my two-step, tuck it out of the way. Alright, so this side is all together. Like I said, I'm not real pleased with the wiring right now, the way it's running. I'm gonna probably spend a little time getting that little nicer shape than what it is right now. This wire right here is kind of straight out touching, so I'll be doing something with that. So we need these where we're going. Yeah. So this side's pretty wrapped up. Let's go ahead and take a look at the other side. We got the coils here. We got less room on this side. We got more stuff in our way. Let's put that up there. Yeah, see we got. Let's go ahead and get this harness off here. Start sizing it up. Handy dandy assistant. And here, just like the other side, I'm gonna just make sure. I'm not trying to tighten them any, I'm just trying to make sure that none of them is moving. They're backed off. But they shouldn't. I think they only torque like a 27 foot-pound. So if they start backing off, you know it pretty easy. Like just this. I'm all good. Trunnions. I don't see any little trunnions anywhere. No broken springs. You're kind of looking more toward the inner ones than you are the outer ones. They all look good. Good deal. Alright, I learned a trick on the other one while ago too. How to save these, the gaskets the best. Just go ahead and pull these out and take them off. Put these in first and then that. Don't try to put it in there together. They don't want to see it all the way. So what I did, was I lined these up because I want it even with the top of the valve cover, and that's about where you're going to drill these holes at. There's the bolt hole here. I'll just kind of, this edge of it, I'll put right at the tip of this, just like so. We do have a difference over here though. It don't have the same one there. We got this one and that one and that one, and this one's rather low. Let's see here. So I'll take my marker. And let me get my paint marker so you can see it better. I've lost this thing 90 times out here working. It's my favorite to mark stuff with. I kind of put my hand around it. I got it on both sides, and I'm just kind of, that's about right. Same way here. Yeah, that feels good. And down here. Yeah, that's. So I got my 3 white dots. Knock some stuff off my chunk of wood. I start out with a 5/16 drill bit. This is a pretty good, these are Irwins, pretty expensive, but you'll see here in just a second, these things cut. And it cuts. And we'll do all 3 holes this way. Swap bits. Go to my unibit, Christmas tree bit, whatever you want to call it. I'll kind of clean up the outer edges of the hole. You'll see it had some little slag stuff on it. Just knock that off. Get my bolts. Well, looks like I missed the mark on this one and this one a little bit, so here's what I do. The other one I just missed one. I had to make it a little bit bigger. But I'll just take this, make the hole a little bigger. That's simple. And still gonna have one that ain't gonna fit. I'm gonna make this one a little bigger. That way it can move down just a little bit. Oh, so close. Bottom right. I'm trying to. I'll blong it out just a hair. There we go. I suppose we're just going to go with 3 bolts on this one. That'll be enough. It ain't going nowhere. I'm going to go ahead and bolt these up real quick. That's right here. Rubbers. Got the world's best camera person with me today. Shouldn't have to do that. The other ones I just pushed through. Make sure I ain't got all shavings on my gasket. Let's go bolt her down. Let's take this other harness apart and see if we can get it put in there and find itself a home. Make sure if you take this apart like I did here, that you don't get your coils mixed up, because these are numbered. Well, not numbered on them, but I mean they go to a specific coil. Alright, we got the fuel line here that come with the kit. This is genuine GM parts, 229 12 576. I am going to reuse the clips off the old fuel line to help lock it in. This is a real simple install. Just goes to the top. Get a click, and then come down to your fuel line. And should clip, yeah. Put these little clips, they go up inside there, keep it from backing off, just like so. Same way down here. And it is installed. Zip tied here and put a zip tie here. At some point, stick back in here. Yeah. So, start cleaning my stuff up here a little bit. Alright guys, we got quite a bit done today. I've got to go do some more other chores, get this edited and get this out tonight, Sunday night, to have these come out, you know, same day as I done filmed. Quite a bit done. You know, we're kind of done back there. Got the wiring done, you know, the cold brackets drilled, installed. I keep promising pinning the crank. I keep thinking I have everything, but it don't work out. I'm using I was going to use this installer, screw it in there and then screw down a nut, but it sticks out too far, so can't get the drill in there. The factory balancer bolt covers the hose up, and I don't want to drill holes in this, so I'm going to come up with something. I'm going to take this bolt with me and find one that's just a head. I'm sure Ace has one. I just got to get over there. I may run over there today to get it and have it to make sure it's there. But we'll get that pinned, get our belt on, get coolant lines run, get it set up so our water pump kicks on when the key comes on. Get all that bled, a bunch of little odd and end stuff to tie up, a bunch of it. And for whatever reason, I don't have an earthly idea, the car has developed an oil leak sitting here. Never leaked before, and all of a sudden it has oil under it. So I gotta chase that down. You know, you don't think with it not running, it wouldn't leak oil. Hopefully, I mean, it's not like coming from the pan or anything. It's all clean. I think it's coming from these cooler lines. It's like down there. I went back and double checked these, make sure they was tight up here. So we'll address that. But guys, thanks for hanging around and watching. You know, if you enjoy what you're watching, this helps you out, just give me a thumbs up. You don't want to ask me questions, anything you want, I'll answer. I usually answer pretty quick. So we're gonna call that the end of part 4. Part 5, we're getting the crank pinned. We are getting it pinned, and we'll have a belt on this sucker. Because I'm ready to hear some whining noises. And it's, you know, next weekend, March 1st, that Beach Bend is canceled. So they had a flood there and all that, so, you know, Chase don't get to run, I'm not going to be running, so we'll have to see what happens. So join us for part 5, we'll get this thing pinned, and thanks again.